and welcome back to another episode of Public Opinion with your host, Pam. And look who's back. It's Vanetta. I'm so excited, Vanetta. I'm just so excited to have you back. I missed you. I just missed
I've
you
been
so
out
much.
of the country.
I know you're just a world traveler. You
Okay.
are. You are a world traveler, and I wish I could have gone with you. I need to.
I
do
wish
more
you could
traveling.
have. I talked about you many times. I said, now I don't think I'm putting a hit on this all top. We got upgraded to top shelf liquor. I am not putting a hit on it.
See, if I had been there, I would have done it justice.
You would have made me proud.
And if there was wine, you know,
I know. I
wine
brought
and
back some because it's so heavy, you can't bring much liquor back. I brought Dylan a bottle of rum, and I brought back a bottle of red wine. I don't know what it is.
oh, well, that's what you brought that for me, right? Red.
No, I bought you something else.
All right. Well, whatever. Maybe you could use that with your Thanksgiving meal or whatever. So, what are you gonna do for Thanksgiving?
We're going to Detroit to see my mother. I'll have 2 of my 3 boys with us.
Okay. And so, what are you all gonna have to eat?
Traditional fare. And some added. We're gonna have pulled pork and some ribs. So added to our ham and turkey. We had a lot of pork. Okay, a lot of sides: macaroni and cheese, yams, greens. This is what fried corn and sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, a pound cake, and caramel cake.
Oh my God, that's one. Well, I'm do my traditional Thanksgiving. I'm
Thanksgiving.
I'm like that. I'm just like a traditional, just like, I believe that the Christmas holiday shouldn't start until after the Thanksgiving Day parade ends when Santa Claus rides in on his float. So,
girl, Christmas, they start decorating on November 1st. Yeah. I went to the hospital today for my husband's minor surgery, and the hospital was covered in Christmas trees and decorations.
That's what I'm saying. It's just too much. I don't like that. I don't like that jumping in to Christmas like that. I like easing in.
I think that's a retailer's thing. I don't think
I know it's a retail, but and some people feel like it makes them happy to. But I don't know. And everybody, I do believe you should do whatever makes you feel happy and what you want to do. But yeah, I'm going the tradition. I'm going with the turkey, and I do dressing and ham and greens and a pot roast, and we do a macaroni and cheese and did I say yams already? Yams, and my husband makes a whole bunch of sweet potato pies, and then we have cake. So it's gonna be.
Traditionally, my husband got this started. Everybody gets to have whatever their favorite is, so they get to call and get, like, if you love macaroni and cheese, we have macaroni and cheese.
Okay, well,
so everybody gets their favorite.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Thanksgiving is just a few days away. And Instacart and Instacart has you covered with everything you need for the holiday. Get all of your favorite Thanksgiving ingredients like cranberry sauce and more with free delivery on your first Instacart order. Minimum $10 required. Terms apply. So, hey, if you feel like you have missed something and you're like, wait a minute, I need that, just do Instacart and have somebody bring it to you. So this week we have our special Thanksgiving show, and I thought it would be nice to just talk about different Thanksgiving traditions and food that you prepare for Thanksgiving. So we are going to have 2 chefs on the show, Vanetta, and a third guest as well. So they're going to be talking about Thanksgiving dinners and traditions and food. All right. Yeah, so we're going to get started and meet our participants for the week. First, we have Chef Deshawn Ross. She is the owner of Bayou Bistro, and she is going to be joined by her husband, Omar Ross, who is an assistant professor of physical therapy at Youngstown State University and staff physical therapist at North Hills Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy. He is the husband of Deshawn and dad to Julian, and they serve as employees and taste testers at Bayou Bistro. And then we have Chef Anthony Favors. Chef Anthony is the owner of Chef 911 Personal Chef and Dinner Party Service. Chef Anthony has been in the culinary world for over 35 years, opening up and operating restaurants and hotels from Cleveland to Chicago, Illinois. All right, so let's get started and welcome our guest. Well, welcome, 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 and thank you all so very much for being participants on the show this week. I cannot wait to start talking about food. I love to eat. I'm gonna tell you, I love food. You know, I like everything about food except for cooking it. So, but we're going to be talking about, you know, food and traditions and what you all do for Thanksgiving and some non-traditional things. And so I am going to show the public opinion question of the week to the audience. And so let's see what that is. What are your traditional or non-traditional ways you celebrate Thanksgiving? All right.
We do.
So I am going to start, and I am going to start with you, Deshawn, because you are the lady, and I always believe in ladies going first. So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to go ahead and answer that question. Go ahead.
Okay. So what we do traditionally in New Orleans is we do fried turkey, and we also do a turducken. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the turducken.
Yes.
So it's a turkey stuffed with a duck, stuffed with a chicken. Yeah, it kind of makes people like they don't understand they don't understand the concept. But we do that, and as well as doing a fried turkey. So we do a number of traditional dressings, which may be the thing is, most people don't understand the difference between a dressing and a stuffing. A stuffing, northern way, is no meat. So it's like, you know, celery and those kind of things that go with the stuffing. But dressing always includes meat. So we do incorporate, exactly. So we do a turducken, which is, like I said, a turkey stuffed with a duck, stuffed with a chicken. So each layer of the meat has a different stuffing. So it could be a crawfish stuffing, it could be a shrimp stuffing, it could be a regular cornbread stuffing, it could be a rice dressing. All those things are stuffed into that one particular dish. And then when you cut it, you get a myriad of different levels. So that's one of the things that we do that's traditional. Also with gumbo, and there's no holiday that does not include gumbo, whether it's a chicken and sausage gumbo, whether it's a seafood gumbo, that's always part of what we do every year.
All right. So Omar, you want to add anything to that?
I think she pretty much hit everything, to be honest with you. So I think you have to delineate when you start talking about traditional. Is it traditional meaning cultural differences? And so there are just certain things that we as Black people, African American people do culturally that's different. You know, you're going to come to most places, you're going to find collard greens, sweet potato pie on the table. Where you might go to somebody of European descent, and you're going to find pumpkin pie, and green bean salad or green bean casserole on the table. So culturally, I think some of those dishes that most African Americans will prepare are unique. But then another depth of uniqueness is what my wife just mentioned in terms of the gumbo, the fried turkey, the turducken, those types of things are another layer of uniqueness that I think you'll find from those that come from or descend from South Louisiana.
Yes, exactly. Like when I was here, when I just arrived here, like 11 years ago, they were talking about like stuffed bell peppers, and their stuffed bell peppers are stuffed with rice. We don't do that back home. It's stuffed with a cornbread dressing, and it has meat, it has shrimp, it has all those other elements. So those are a little bit different from where we are.
All right. So Chef Anthony, you go ahead and let us know what you do or what you consider to be a tradition for Thanksgiving. Go ahead.
We're here. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Our tradition is my mother, she didn't do turkey much. We had capon, roasted capon with dressing, macaroni cheese, collard greens, green beans. She tried to switch it up. She might add prime rib one year to it. She might add ham, chicken and dumplings. She might add to it. Banana pudding, apple pie, chocolate cake. So different years when I got older, she'll switch it up. Even sometimes she did barbecue ribs. And since I was in the catering business, different nationalities, like the Jewish people,
noodle kugel they eat. They put raisins and dried vegetables and dried fruits in a lot of these dishes. They use latkes, which is potato pancakes. They eat turkey. Beef brisket is a big thing for them. And I cook for a lot of Greeks. They like lamb. So basically, different nationalities, they eat on the holidays, basically almost what they eat every day. Like we eat, our collard greens and stuff, like on the weekends, on Sundays. It's about the same thing for just nationalities. They eat the same thing, what they grew up with. Like Italians, they'll have meatballs with sauce, cavatellis. Someone might have lasagna, eggplant, parmesan, chicken parmesan. They basically eat the same thing what they eat every weekend.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. We're going to get into start talking. And you know what? I like what you said, Omar, about Thanksgiving, whether it's a tradition or whether it's just cultural. Because, I was telling Vanetta before we brought you all in that I was traditional. But then again, when I say traditional, it's traditional to our culture or, our family. But what might be traditional for me, obviously may not be traditional for everybody else. And I think that's what's interesting about getting to know different people and finding out about, different cultures. And
tradition also has regional value.
Yes.
So, I mean, based on what is plentiful in that area also makes it onto the table.
Right. Now with this turducken, I have a question because I have heard about that before.
But I've had one.
I've never seen it actually. So do you start out with like a huge turkey and then you get a smaller duck and then a smaller chicken?
Deboned.
Oh, I'm thinking you stuffing this all into that cavity. That's why I'm like, that. Did you see me? I was like,
so it's a boneless chicken.
Oh,
bone. You stuff that chicken, you stuff that into a duck, and you put another dressing, and then you stuff that into a turkey, and then right. So
that was somebody that was high that day. They was like they was. I don't know, because certain things you have to wonder why, and why did you stop? Why didn't you stop with the duck, and then you had to go with the chicken too?
It's a chicken stuffed into a duck, stuffed into a turkey, and it's 3 different dressings.
It looks like a cinnamon roll at the end of the day.
Yes. So, and it's all
like
bone.
A roulade.
So when you cut it, it's just you just cut just meat. It's no bones, none of that. So it's really, I know it sounds really weird, but it's really, really good. I grew up with that, and that's how I know it's Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Now, what has been some of the most unusual dishes, though, that you all have ever prepared or heard of someone having other than because turducken that's not unusual, obviously. So what are some of the most unusual dishes that you have prepared or have known of people to partake of for Thanksgiving?
I'll take that question because I like what you said. The second part of that question is you've known of people to prepare, didn't necessarily eat it,
right?
But known people to prepare. So there were 2. So traditionally back home in New Orleans is gumbo, and some people go a little bit crazy when it comes to gumbo. And we had this lady who brought in gumbo for us at work, and it had chicken wings and those little smoky sausages in it.
Oh, little smokies.
Yeah.
Oh God,
it was wrong.
That is wrong.
Man.
And then the other one, just a little bit more related to my family, they fixed it, but I didn't eat it. I still won't eat it. It's chitlins. You can keep it.
Oh man,
you know what? My husband likes. I'm sorry, I don't allow them in my home.
Thank you.
And I just don't. The smell linger. I don't care. People that will say, "Oh, well, we cleaned it. I cleaned mine in the washing machine." I'm like, I don't want it in my home. I don't even want to know. I don't even want anybody's car that's parked in it. It's foul. But but there's a lot of tradition involved and a lot of history.
Oh yeah, a lot of tradition. I grew up eating them on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Every year my mother had chitlins. And I didn't know anything. People talked about them until, I got a little older and got people like, oh my God, you eat that? Yeah, I actually like them. My husband won't eat them.
I have to eat them in the basement now.
Oh,
my wife don't want to smell them, so I have to go in the basement and eat them.
But I almost forgot about chitlins until you just said that. And then you're right. And then we had I don't do pig feet, but a lot of those things are just history. That's what we had to eat. We had to eat the scraps. That's what we were given. And so
my mother would call it a letter from home.
What?
A letter from home.
What, chitlins?
Yeah. A pig feet or a chitlin, all of that is a throwback.
Interesting.
A letter from home.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, go ahead, Chef Anthony.
I said, I lived in Chicago for a while. So my chef, he was French. He asked me, and I told him chitlins. He asked me what it was, and I told him. He said, oh, we eat that in France, but it's a different name. But
I'm sure
they deep fry theirs.
Oh, wow.
Chitlins. They don't boil them like we do. They deep fry them. Oh. So I found out mostly all nationalities, we eat the same thing.
They call it something different.
It's another name.
Yeah, because what is it that they call pork skins? They call it that.
Chicharron.
Yeah, and a lot of people have that as like a delicacy. Almost they spice it up different kinds of ways, but yeah, it just all depends. And you know what? I think people should just eat whatever they want. It's just, to me, it's a gathering of family and friends. It's meant to be, there's so much that is done over food. Celebrations always involve food.
Absolutely.
And you have to open your
mind. Funerals
mind.
involve food. Everything has some type of a food component to it. So even though some people have chosen now not to celebrate Thanksgiving because of, they're learning about really the true history behind it. And it really is not something to be celebrated. That they really were celebrating going out and killing, Indians and having a feast surrounding it. But it come down through the years, and that was a celebration in autumn that they did that, everybody just kind of embraced it, just like how we embraced the 4th of July because it's a party, but when we think about it, we didn't have independence, we were probably cooking for the people who were celebrating. So, but the thing is to take something maybe that may have been negative and we turn it into a positive, a celebration and make you feel good food and, sit around and just give thanks for what you have. And I think that's, was really, really important. So now, Chef Deshawn, tell us about what your restaurant is, Bayou Bistro?
Bayou Bistro. I don't have a standalone restaurant, so I do a lot of pop-ups and a lot of catering. So a little bit about where I'm from. So I am from New Orleans, and I've been, I'm not formally trained, but God has blessed me with the gift of hands. And I have been cooking since I was 9 years old. So my as they say, the taste is in my hands. So I have a number of clients that I work with that I don't talk about because the way they want things done, I have to sign I'm privileged to
non-disclosure agreement.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What kind of people you cook? All right. But
they want to present it as their own food.
Oh, is that what
it's that I take care of them and I take care of their families.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do that. And here in Pittsburgh, and I've just really been blessed. And my business is not I'm advertising. It's really word of mouth. And I have a steady clientele based on word of mouth.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you can build up a clientele just based on word of mouth, that means you're pretty good.
You're good.
Okay.
And now, I have a party tomorrow, so as soon as we get off this call, I can get back to work.
Okay. Now I may have to have you come and cook for me, but you can tell as many people as you want. I'm not going to swear you to secrets.
Right before COVID started, I did the NFL Women's Association. I did NFL Undefeated. So I was featured at the Super Bowl in Miami. So, I mean, I honestly, with the help of my husband, I don't even know how I'm able to do it.
Wow.
But God has blessed me
Oh, that's wonderful. So what type of food? Do you cook all types of food, or are you known for a specific?
I cook all types of food, but I'm really known for the Louisiana flavor.
Okay.
So it's not uncommon for me to do gumbo. It's not uncommon for me to do jambalaya. It's not common for me to do anything that has to do all New Orleans. But I'm also able, like for instance, tomorrow I have a party. I'm doing all Italian. So I'm doing blackened chicken pasta with Cajun cream sauce. I'm doing a stuffed jumbo shell with spinach and ricotta. And a spinach Madeleine, which originated from New Orleans. So I can do any type of food that you could possibly think of.
Wow. And
that's the beauty of my gift.
Oh, wonderful. Now, Chef Anthony, tell us about you. Yes. Go ahead.
The name of my company is called Chef 911, the emergency chef.
I love it. Right away. I don't want to cook for myself.
I didn't go to school because I wasn't supposed to cook for the rest of my life. My plan was, when I was in high school, I wasn't good in wood shop, metal shop, so I took cooking. And I said, well, I'll learn how to cook. When I go to college, I get a job because everybody needs to cook. So I mostly started in hotels. I did a lot of hotels in my life. So in hotels, you have catering, a la carte, your restaurant, room service. So I learned everything all under one building. And most of my chefs was European, Italian, French, Hungarian. So I learned all nationalities through my careers. And I mostly worked in hotels. So I traveled. I live in Cleveland. I opened up a Holiday Inn in West Virginia. Then I went to Chicago, and I stayed there for 5 years, and opened up Hotel Sofitel. It's a French hotel. It's not too many around, but it's French. And I tell people, my chef was like worse than Ramsay, which is not mean to me, but we had like 3-4 stars the first year. It's kind of like Marines. But if you do your job, he didn't bother you. They don't bother you. But then he sent me to San Francisco for 3 months to help open up a Sofitel there. So once you're good in the hotel world, they'll send you like a task force to open up. So I learned from the ground up.
That's wonderful.
Behind the scenes, like on the job training. Because back in my days, it was mostly on the job training.
Yeah.
And most European chefs, they didn't go to culinary school.
Right.
Back in the days, and half of them didn't finish high school.
Well, you know, some of the best cooks never went to took any type of class. Absolutely. They just know. Absolutely. Now, do you, Chef Anthony, do you have a specialty or anything that you like to cook?
Actually, the last 5 years, I've been doing Cajun food. Because I was in the store one time. Excuse me. Yeah, come. I would love. People been telling me my jambalaya gumbo is real good. I said, are you sure? They say yes, because I don't make mine the way you're supposed to. You're supposed to cook everything together. But I'm a saucier.
Absolutely.
And so I make my sauces separate. Then I add the stuff to it. Like my rice, I always add my rice last. So it won't be, I don't like mine real thick. I like mine kind of soupy and you know.
Yes.
But people say it's good.
Oh, I bet you it's good. The only thing is I do not like okra.
No, Chef.
I don't mess with okra, so I don't really like gumbo that much.
No, I don't like it with okra.
You don't have to do it with okra. You can do it with filet gumbo. You can do filet gumbo.
Oh yeah, well that's the way I would.
A French background, so it all adds up. But what I do now, I'm a personal chef. Since the company I work for, COVID closed down, so I went personal chef full time. I do like small, intimate dinner parties.
You know, that's the thing now. That is the trend now, having these private chefs come into your home and make you a meal. That's like, so you stay with that. I'm telling you, that's
that's
a gold mine.
World is really what's
dinner parties.
Yeah.
Right.
And now it's getting cold. Most of my clients, they go into Florida, Texas, and Hawaii for the winter.
Oh, okay.
So I struggle, say what I'm gonna do now for the next 4 months. But it works out.
Yeah.
I do some catering here and there, but it works out.
Absolutely.
I could be in Hawaii for the winter if I could.
Oh, wonderful.
Can you take me with you to Hawaii?
She want to go everywhere with you. Omar, you need to look into that now. I don't know.
She's just a traveling chef. There's nothing wrong with that.
So now
I would love to come to New Orleans though. Because here in Cleveland, we only have like 2 places that has Cajun New Orleans food. Only
do either of you specialize in grilled oysters?
No.
Well, this is the thing. We can't get great oysters here.
Oh, okay.
So because we're in Pittsburgh. We're like I said, we're originally from New Orleans. But if I were back at home, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Now will you all be cooking yourselves for Thanksgiving, or are you going somewhere else where somebody else is cooking?
Actually, my husband's traveling for Thanksgiving, so I won't be frying anything because I usually do fried turkeys on Thanksgiving. So it's not uncommon for me to do 6 or 7 turkeys for friends and family. Adopted family, so to speak, for Thanksgiving, and dressing and sweet potato pie and all those other things. But my husband's traveling, so he let me off the hook.
I'm not allowed to cook at home.
You're not allowed to cook at home?
No.
Oh, okay.
My wife said I don't know how to cook. I said, okay.
Wow.
No problem.
As long as somebody else is paying you, let her cook. And that sounds all right.
That's right.
So she's going to be cooking?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, you need a break. Sometimes we need a break. Chefs needs a break.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I have enjoyed having you all. And I had asked some people to submit some things that they do that are their type of food they eat. I have had people tell me, oh, we're having lobster, or we're having shrimp, and things that I didn't really think of, that people, or just all a barbecue meal that they're going to have, or a fish fry. Absolutely. And so my cousin, who's not celebrating the Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day, they're going to have a brunch in the morning. And then on Friday, they're going to do a fish fry. And then Saturday, they're going to do just a traditional type of a thing. And she's also said that her daughter is making, she did this last year, she made her kids put together some food for the homeless. So it's all kinds of ways that people can celebrate the holiday. And it doesn't all have to be cookie cutter one. I think it all depends on your tradition, your culture, and what you want to do.
And you can learn some new traditions. Last year we were in Orlando, and we have a mixed cultured family. And so they're European, and they had some things that I would have thought I didn't want to try on Thanksgiving. Yeah. Fresh green beans steamed with butter on them, but they were absolutely delicious, and onion. I mean, I was like, where's the pork, but it was a new, and they had some kind of Spanish ham, very salty, but it was different, and we got a new experience out of it. And one year when my daughter-in-law came into the family, we went with her family to the Ritz for Thanksgiving. Now my one son had a steak, the other one had some type of shrimp pasta. It was they were just showing out, if the truth be told. But it was a different kind of Thanksgiving, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah. I also have a friend, a former coworker of mine. He is vegan now. He had a completely vegan Thanksgiving.
And unfortunately, that's one of the things that my husband always pushes me on, because I'm so used to meat that he was like, he challenged me. And I told him this last night. I said, thank you for pushing me, because I have a lot of people that want vegan or vegetarian dishes. And I've learned to accommodate that. So I always have a vegetarian dish, even though I may have a meat dish, and just speaking to what you said earlier, I worked for the Ritz-Carlton in HR for 10 years. And I worked at the Ritz-Carlton New Orleans. I worked at the Ritz-Carlton Coconut Grove, South Beach, Miami, and also I lived in Grand Cayman for a while, as well as Rose Hall. So their menu was based on, they had to accommodate a number of people. So everybody didn't eat meat. And I just assumed that everybody ate meat. And I had to learn how to do something different. So working there, even though I was in human resources for 10 years, I mean, like, this is really, my gift from God, that I'm, putting my hands on people. But it's not just a meal, it's making them feel loved, and they feel the love in my food. And I totally understand that. Just like Chef said, Chef Anthony is like, he's like, he does this, he does that. And people don't realize that it takes a lot to think about, what about someone else like you that wants a different kind of food? And that's a thought process that we as chefs have to deal with. You know, and while we're sleeping at night, we're not sleeping. We're creating in our head.
Yeah.
And last night, I'm sleeping, but I'm not sleeping. I'm thinking about what I have to do for tomorrow.
Wow.
I'm thinking about the vegetarian dip for tomorrow. I'm thinking about the vegetarian dip that's 2 weeks from the vegetarian dish.
And that's so important nowadays, especially with a lot of people going in the direction of being like, for me, I only eat turkey and fish. And so if I go someplace and they have a vegetarian option or something, or fish, I am always so happy because I feel like they were thoughtful enough to think of other people and what other people want to have. So thank you all so very, very much for being participants on this show, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I enjoyed them. I really
did. Were wonderful. I mean, and I learned a lot about what other people do.
And then, you know what, that's why it's just important to know that everybody celebrates it in different, whatever way you want to do it is whatever your tradition is.
That's right. The right way is your way.
It is. But the thing about it is to come together, give thanks. You know, I'm very much into grateful, thankful, blessed. And I believe
and that's what you have to focus on, because I can say I've been a snob. I remember one year we went and a family member, my sister-in-law, had a charcuterie board with cheese curls on it. And I was like, what the heck? My kids loved it. So they were the first one over
there. They probably like, now this is some good eating right
now
here.
This is with class.
Okay. So whatever way you choose to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday, just make sure that you remember to be thankful, grateful, and blessed for the life that you've been given. And we just enjoy having you. And if you enjoy watching our show, continue to watch us on Facebook as well as YouTube, and listen to our audio podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. So until next time, we'll see you for another episode of Public Opinion. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.